Welcome to This Week in Guns, a podcast that covers the commentary on the latest firearms industry news, information, and buzz. Brought to you by the Firearms Radio Network. I'm your host, Jake Challen, president of FRN. You make this show possible. That's right. You simply click through our Amazon affiliate link the next time you're shopping online, and a small portion of your sale goes to supporting pro-gun shows like This Week in Guns. We have a great panel this week. We have Billy Johnson of Boxer Tactical and Admits the Noise. Hey, Billy.
Hey, Jake. How you doing? Thanks for having me.
Doing great. And we have John Patton of the Gun Collective and Patton Media Consulting.
Hi. How are you?
Doing great. And Abs, House of Guns and House of Arms. Hey,
I noticed you announced me last. Is there a particular reason for that?
Yes. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the individual co-hosts and do not necessarily
do represent the views of the Firearms Radio Network. There, I read it for you.
Who's been tampered?
I don't know who did that. It's really funny.
Disclaimer here. Do not necessarily reflect their official policy or position of the Firearms Radio Network and or their employers. Viewer discretion is advised, especially on live shows like this.
Oh, we lost Billy.
And I guess Billy couldn't say any more. So, Patriot Patch Company helps make this episode possible. Check out the new T-shirts at patriotpatch.co. Added a bunch of new T-shirts here in the last month or so. So check out the T-shirts over there. And John's been rocking them over on the Gun Collective show. If you want to see our official plus-size model.
Hey, look at what I'm wearing.
Yeah.
Hey, there you. Yeah, Russian Abs is even wearing the.
Yeah,
AK.
I wear shirts for EK because Kalashnikov is better than bolt action.
PatriotPatch.co. What about the Mosin Nagant? Come on, we got the Mosin Nagant patch right here. So, PatriotPatch.co and
what about it? Oh, you could have a hipster patch section.
I could, but we're not.
Okay.
Patreon, we got new Patreon perks if you like to support the program. Remember, we're trying to get to our $500 level goal. If we get to $500 an episode, we'll start Today in Guns, a daily show. So check out patreon.com/week. The $10 level will let you hang out with us after the show every other week. So check it out, patreon.com/week.
Is this one of those weeks?
I know it was last week. You missed it.
I missed it. I'm so sad.
Next week. So yeah, still time to sign up. So hang out with the FRN crew at the NRA show in Louisville Saturday night at 7 p.m. And towards the end of the show, we're gonna plug. John's got a great event. Gun Collective presents the Ultimate Gun Guy Q&A panel, which is right before the FRN meet and greet. So check that out if you're going to Louisville Saturday night, 7 p.m. the FRN Hangout. Top stories this week. Positive news, never been done before. Rock Island gun auction rakes in $17.5 million. $17.5 million, and 1.26 million of that was a Winchester 1886. That was we talked about this last week. That was used by a U.S. soldier, or awarded to a U.S. soldier for capturing the Apache warrior Geronimo.
Did you see that they were taking bids in multiple formats? It wasn't just live bidders on site. They had like phone bidders and online stuff all going at the same time, which I applaud them for. I think that's interesting.
I think it's pretty impressive to think that the collecting market is that robust. I think that's really amazing to see that. Even if you account a couple of the big guns that sold for over $1 million and a couple in the mid six figures, that's still like 15 million left over. Mm-hmm. That was a high volume of guns, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's extremely cool. But that they can. What about the fact that they can trace that 1886 Winchester? I mean, could you imagine like the record or the bill of sales to go along with that to be able to
Yeah, you gotta have
link it up that specifically to that kind of history.
right. Well, you gotta have providence, and for anything to be valuable in an auction, you have to be able to prove that, and it's got to be
Well, and sometimes for that,
verify it.
sometimes for that, people are buying the story too. You know what I mean? It's
That's what they're buying with that gun. Absolutely.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, it's an 1886 Winchester, which is still cool, but the end of the Indian Wars and the capture of Geronimo, that's like Everest for that sort of thing.
In that time period, I would say, but it's important to note too that it's not a gun that was actually used on the mission. It was one that was awarded to the soldiers. So
right, this guy owned it.
Yes, yeah, it's still pretty cool. I mean, Rock Island does some amazing stuff. I love, anytime I see him at NRA annual meetings and looking at their gun cases. I mean, they always have some amazing guns.
Other positive news this week, well, maybe positive for some people, maybe not for others, I don't know. Madison, Wisconsin gun buyback yields 1 gun.
Yes! Give it up for freaking Wisconsin, you cheeseheads!
And it turned out to be an old, broken, single-shot 22.
Hey there, I'm not selling you my guns, okay?
So what you have is a gun person that has like something that's beyond repair, and they're going, you know what? I couldn't get any of my neighbors to buy this, but I bet the cops will. And they took it in, and that was the only gun sold. Oh,
there's such a waste of taxpayers' money. I mean, there's been study after study, and even those in ivory towers have said that, academia have said that gun buybacks don't work, right? They statistically don't, there's no reduction in crime. Typically, the guns that are sold are guns that are in the bottom of someone's closet that probably don't even function in the first place. So, I mean, it's more a political theater. It's politicians and, local departments saying, hey, look what we're doing. We're taking guns off the street.
Basically lobbying for themselves.
So Sig has relocated an ammo plant to Arkansas. We continue to see the move of different gun companies moving stuff out of the northeast and moving it south, whether it's south to the Carolinas or south to Arkansas, Missouri areas. I continue to see
that plant came from Kentucky, though, didn't it? I think it came from Kentucky to Arkansas, which is interesting to me. But even more so is I know knew Sig dabbled in ammo, but I think most people when they read that they're like, Sig makes ammo?
Is this tied into Remington? Like, is Remington doing this for Sig? Because Remington's in Arkansas.
No,
it's Sig's own plant. Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
I mean, Sig, what was it? 2 SHOT Shows ago or 3 SHOT Shows ago, Sig started to make a big push for their own branded ammo, and so I think it's going well for them. I wonder if this is a bigger manufacturing, maybe, or maybe it's more advanced manufacturing facility.
They said initially it's going to employ 50 people, so.
That could be a lot of machines.
I don't think I've ever seen Sig ammo for sale in a retail establishment.
Yeah, Cabela's out here has it.
Cabela's, okay.
Yeah, and I'll have to say I've early on in my 300 blackout journey, so 300 years ago, 3 years ago maybe, I had picked up like a dozen different types of ammo, and of the subsonic stuff, the just run-of-the-mill Sig 220 grain subsonic stuff was the most accurate I put through 3 different guns. So it's not without quality. I mean, they're not just making ammo to slap their name on it, or apparently to have somebody else do it, because they're making quality stuff. Now, this wouldn't have come from the new Arkansas place, but still, they know what they're doing.
I was wondering if they're using some of their law enforcement connections and some of their, bigger customer connections to try to move the ammo through that type of distribution avenue. Just because I hadn't seen it in retail.
That could be. It seems like they're aiming at the home defense and the competition market with their marketing. But yeah, I haven't seen it much personally myself. Speaking of ammo, subscription ammo stockpile services.
Yeah, I was looking into this for TGC News, and it's a really, really interesting concept. We've seen these ammo subscription companies before, but what makes this particular one, Ammo Hawk, different is that they're essentially offering to store it for you. And then, so basically you pay for a certain amount every month. They keep adding to your quote-unquote locker, and then when you want that ammo, you draw from your locker. You draw from your stash. So they're kind of pushing it as like, oh, we'll make sure that we have the ammo for you when you need it. Which is kind of, it's different.
It is different, but what's interesting to me is I kind of compare that to like buying gold and silver certificates, right? Like I'm just buying the certificate for the gold and silver, and then I have to go somewhere if I ever want to draw it, right? Like when I buy ammo, I kind of want it. I always wondered that if a service like that, if you have your ammo stored there, is it really there?
Right, right. Like I agree with you, man. There was actually, so I saw it on guns.com when they did the first article on it, and they've done a follow-up interview with one of the guys, the CEO actually from that company, and a couple of these questions are really, really interesting. The number one, will there be choices within a caliber of different types of ammunition like hollow points or match grade? No, not initially. So basically, they're picking what you get, and that sucks.
Right.
A lot of these companies start out like that. They're like, oh, well, it's too much for us to manage all these choices and blah, 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 blah. But that's exactly what people want, and that's how ammunition sales work. You buy what you want.
So are they, but as a new startup, are they seeking to get like a relative amount of buy-in and people saying, okay, I'll take a risk on this, and then like if the talk is initially we're not doing this, then is the understanding that they're planning to expand and give people choices?
So it says that they're initially, it says, will there be choices? No, at least not in the beginning. Each package is intended to satisfy a diversity of shooting tastes, so will include a diversity of calibers and technologies.
Okay.
As far as I'm concerned, that's nonsense. If I'm paying a subscription and you're just, arbitrarily throwing in, hollow points when I don't want hollow points, that to me that seems ridiculous.
Yeah. I think two things about that. I think one, yes, you're exactly right, and I think two, well, at least they didn't start a GoFundMe.
Right. I think the subscription model, it's kind of interesting. I kind of wonder if the ship has sailed on it, because you have a problem with a subscription-based business is you have an attrition rate, right? You're always going to be losing some customers every month that are dropping off of the subscription. So to grow the company, you not only have to make up for the people you're losing, but now you've got to pay that customer acquisition cost for new customers. And it's like that rat race. You're constantly trying to catch up with the people you're losing, because people are always going to drop off in a subscription model.
You know what, so though? We've seen a huge rise in those box of the month type things. What do you think of that in comparison?
I think it's the same thing. It's any subscription model. This is Netflix's biggest Achilles heel, right? Is they're always chasing the new customer to make up for the attrition loss.
Isn't the subscription box, though, a little bit more like gambling? Like people are paying for sort of calculated gambling, knowing that they're getting something in this context area of product. They just don't know what the product is for sure.
Well, I mean, this is that same thing. They're just not getting to see it at all, right?
You're not getting to see it, but I'm concerned with the ammo particularly. Are they buying surplus ammo? Like you're saying, John, like you don't know what you're getting, right?
Right, right.
I'm pretty picky about what ammo I buy. I'm not someone that just goes and buys the cheapest thing.
Yeah. Used to be, but how much of America is?
It's a good point. But are those people buying subscriptions? Right? $69 is a lot of money. $69 a month.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. If I'm spending $69 a month and I don't get to pick what ammo, Like, what if I want to stock up on range ammo? What if I want to stock up on hollow points and I'm getting range ammo instead? Like, you have no choice. And to me, that's a huge downfall. And one of the other things, and I'll probably have to confirm this with them, but one of the other things that's really interesting is in their kind of "this is how it works" video, they show you only subscribing to one caliber at a time. So those of us with, I don't know, like 15, 16, 30, 40 different calibers, you're SOL.
I just don't get the concept of it not. I'm owning ammo that's not in my house.
It's like the cloud, right?
Yeah, my ammo's
like
in the cloud. Hang
cloud
on.
for ammo.
That's pretty fun. That's a really good analogy.
Yeah, the best ammo is the ammo stored in my garage.
Yeah. Authorities make decision on gun-loving mom who was shot by her son. We talked about this Florida woman a few episodes back.
Aren't the Florida people always in the news like Florida woman or Florida man are always up to something?
Florida man strikes in the full auto segment today, so stay tuned.
Yes.
But Lynn Gilt, 31, who is kind of billing herself as a social media poster child for pro-gun, the pro-gun mommy and the pro-gun, lady. She apparently left her, I don't know, it was like a 45 or what it was, rolling around in the back seat, and her kid picked it up while they were driving down the road, and the kid shot her in the back. Her 4-year-old son shot her in the back. And a deferred prosecution agreement was reached where the state's attorney office agreed to that she will complete a gun safety course, install a mounted holster in her vehicle, and provide proof of safe storage of firearms in her home. She will also give 10 speeches about the March 8th shooting and need to safely secure firearms, according to news release.
9 is too little and 11 is too many. 10 speeches.
Can we just say that she was already punished for her stupidity? She got shot by her kid, and then she lived. And so, but I like the arbitrary, we're going to make you pay for your ignorance by projecting your ignorance to other people. Now, I actually kind of want to go hear her now that I know she has to speak. Anybody else want to go see Florida Woman, or am I alone here?
I would like to see a recorded version. I don't care to go to Florida because people from Florida are there, and I just don't want to get shot by a 4-year-old.
You don't know what could happen. Like that's worth going to Florida by itself, or you could.
I don't know, man. I get it. No, like it would be totally interesting to hear her try and sound legitimate.
This whole thing's just a train wreck from the start.
Train wreck maximum. I mean, it's like Fugitive, Harrison Ford train wreck.
I mean, yeah. So a loaded gun with one in the pipe, right, on the floorboard, probably not holstered unless it was some soft holster and a 4-year-old could get it out. I doubt it's in some high quality. Some type of retention to it. I mean, just the whole thing. I'm like. I don't even know what to say.
Like, and then
she was trying to make herself like she's some internet gun sense person, right? And anti-gun sense, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. This thing is just. I'm just glad no one died, and the kid's probably young enough that it didn't scar. It's it's not going to scar or have emotional damage that the kid shot his mom. So, but it's a mess.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not actually laughing so much at Florida Woman. I happened to scroll through one of those "We Don't Have a Cat" posts, and it's pretty funny. So, sorry about that, Jake.
Last year, ATF traced over 364,000 guns that were used in crimes.
And how many of those were sent to Mexico by Eric Holder?
Well, what is funny is that they outline the international countries that put in traces. And, for example, Canada called for a total of 1,431. But then Mexico topped the international charts with 17,704.
You know what's interesting with this, though? Putting in traces, what does that mean? So it doesn't mean that those guns were actually... They don't give the data that says out of those traces, 75% of those firearms actually were originally purchased at a gun shop in America. Like, we don't get any of that data. Like, trace, big deal. So it's a trace. What does this mean? Other than a way to, like, inflate their budget next year to say, hey, we're doing all these traces. We need more money now. It doesn't mean anything. We
also don't get the amount of people that they prosecute. Like, that's one of the biggest downfalls of the ATF is they are known to not prosecute people for straw purchases and things of that nature. It is a very rare occasion for them to do that. And
well, that's the federal. Yeah, I mean they're passing that info to the federal prosecutors, and like Chicago example, right? I mean all the people that aren't getting prosecuted on those trafficking charges, right? That are illegally trafficking firearms. So. Yep, but they're going to want more money now because they're doing all these traces.
New from St. George Arms, leader in 50, or I guess this is called the leader, is a 50 BMG semi-auto gas-operated bullpup.
Oh my God.
That needs to be in my life.
It's going to be at NRA. I will have video of this firearm.
It's too bad I won't be with you.
Yeah, whose fault's that?
It's mine.
So the entire rifle measures, when it's, I guess, the compact version, 39.5 inches with a 24-inch barrel, roughly the same length as a standard AR-15.
Yeah, 40 inches-ish, about 38, standard 16-inch AR. That's insanity. What does that do to your sinus cavity when you shoot it? First thing I think of.
I'm not, of all the 50s that I've shot, not one, while I was shooting, was painful to shoot on my face.
Bro, look at the break. It's going to be 18 inches from your face. This is a guarantee, like, deviated septum procedure.
Nah, I think it'll be fine.
I don't think so.
I would really like to see how the action on this thing works.
But then you're somebody that would do this, and then it would like totally murder in the process, and you'd be like, "Oh, it's not that bad." And then
hand it saying an ear, nose, and throat doctor could actually prescribe this firearm for you.
That is precise. Yes, in terms of facial procedures, this rifle is perfection. So that's perfect, Billy. Like the best example.
Louisiana seeks to eliminate concealed carry fees for vets.
Hey, all the time on 50 BMG bullpup?
What? We lost you. Did I move on too quickly? We were still drilling over the 50 BMG?
Dude, like I was still locked into the picture. It looks like it takes Barrett M82A1 mags.
Well, there's videos if you go to their website. There's videos of it cycling what appears to be a prototype version.
Are the people wearing scrubs?
No, so you remember
the sight radius is like 14 inches.
So the guys in the video, I mean, couldn't look more like I joined the NRA in 1974 type guys. The one guy's got like a mesh baseball cap on with like the rope across the brim. Like,
does it have the golden wings on it?
I can't tell. I can't see the front. And the other guy looks like my social studies teacher when I was a kid. But the gun looks cool. I mean, let's be fair. The gun looks amazing.
It does look really interesting. I hope. Oh my gosh, that hat! It's got
recoil impulse doesn't look that bad. That's kind of impressive.
Your social studies teacher. Oh, see, Jake, we did not spend long enough on this.
You're right, John. The bottom video, I feel like that was recorded in 1978.
Right?
There's no frame of reference for like the date. in the video itself.
This guy's out shooting this, and he's wearing like a tan blazer.
It definitely looks like it's corduroy.
It is. It's an actual blazer with shoulder pads in it. But you know what though? He legitimately gets with it on the trigger.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, he was probably, he was out there. He was teaching, and then fourth period he had a lunch break. He went to the range real quick.
Listen, there's a set of MBUS sights on it that are flipped in the non-deployed function. They're just laying on the road. Why would he flip them up? I mean, you don't need sights on 50.
We just want to make sure it doesn't blow up in face.
This is test fire.
So it's got to describe it for the people listening, it's got a forward left side charge. The pistol grip kind of looks like something off of maybe like a FAMAS, something like that.
It looks kind of like a Kalashnikov a little bit.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird design. Looks like it was made in a garage. It's piston operated, rotating bolt. Weighs 18.5 pounds unloaded. So that should help with recoil. Anything else you guys want to add to that?
No, that was a good idea walking through it, because here we are drooling over it, getting all excited, and nobody can have any idea what the visual is. But
I think the corduroy tan blazer paints a very good picture for people.
But I mean, come on, it's a semi-auto 50 BMG. We need more of these.
If anybody's ever watched Golden Girls, the guy looks like Stanley Spornak, who was Dorothy's ex-husband in the Golden Girls. So picture Stan Spornak firing a bullpup 50 with what appears to be kind of a modified Barrett muzzle brake on it. This one actually looks like it's a
version.
Well, it looks like it's a 3-chamber though. It's not even just a 2-chamber
brake. I've seen these on 50s before. I believe it's very similar to the one that comes on the Armalite guns.
Okay.
But it's got screws down through the top. It's not exactly what I would call clean looking.
They just need to know Stan Spornak is in a corduroy blazer.
I want to know what percentage of people out there listening know who the hell Stan Spornak is.
Well, I watched a lot of Golden Girls back in the day.
Really?
And I'm serious. If I'm have this sort of time where I'm flipping channels, and I come across AMC late at night or TLC or something, and they're playing Golden Girls, I'll watch. I have no problem.
I had no idea you were a B. Arthur fan.
You know what? She's a handsome woman. Was a handsome woman.
So
but I was more of a Betty White, Estelle Getty.
Oh yeah, he likes that wholesome older woman.
Yeah, I mean, this is the most honest show I think we've had in a while. Jake is wiping the tears away as we proceed. So, okay, Jake, sorry, I took us back to that, and now we beat it to death. So please take us forward.
I don't think that's the first time we had a Golden Girls reference on This Week in Guns either. So
wait,
try
hold
the whole
on.
network.
But have I done that though? This is the first time?
Of course you did it.
You can't even remember 3 minutes ago.
Listen, this moment in time is preserved indefinitely.
Somebody scroll back and find Ebbs talking about Golden Girls.
Louisiana seeks to do away with concealed carry fees for vets. Currently, the shell issue state permits are $125, and they have a lifetime permit available for $500. So
I'm not a fan of carve-outs, right? If you're gonna, I don't think anybody should pay, right? But if you're gonna charge some people, you got to charge everybody. This whole, if you're retired law enforcement, you don't have to pay. If you're this, you don't have to pay. A right's a right. It should be available to everybody. There should not be a monetary roadblock in the way of that, is my opinion. And every state probably has fees unless you're a constitutional carry, but
right. How hard is it, Billy? And I feel like you can answer this better than anybody, but how hard is it for real for a politician to not view an opportunity to make money on something that is should be an unrestricted right? You know what I
Well,
mean?
and the thing with this is why I'll tell you why politicians didn't want to vote against this, because it would be looked at as politicians voting against veterans, and that's not what it should be about at all. It should be voting against saying that we're going to give a certain class of citizen a carve-out of the law, that they're not going to have to pay this fee. That's what the argument should be about. But that argument will always be spun. It'll always be spun to the fact that you're anti-veteran or you don't support the veterans.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the way to make it fair, remove the fees across the board. No one should pay a fee, right? $500 for a lifetime concealed carry permit, and they're like trying to tout that as look at how.
Yeah, right. Like, is it free or isn't it?
Yeah, I mean it's ridiculous. I mean,
Here's the fee. I was born an American. That's all I need.
You know, fees to hold a protest and exercise your First Amendment right, fees for pistol permits, fees for concealed carry. It's all a bunch of BS, and the more that we stand up and say there should not be a fee involved in exercising our First Amendment right, I think we need to stand up and say that. And this isn't an anti-veteran argument or an anti-law enforcement or anything like that. It's just everybody should have access to it, no matter what.
All right. Any of you guys see this Funny or Die NRA gun shelters video?
No.
All right. I'm going to do the AR-15 podcast giveaway segment here. You guys go ahead and watch that. So AR-15 podcast is giving away a AR-15. That's right. Go over to firearmsradio.tv. And New Frontier Armory is giving away a 9mm carbine AR, so you can enter to win. Firearmsradio.tv. Click AR-15 podcast, and yeah, your chance to enter. Time is running out, so check it out now. So, Funny or Die put together a skit about. It's called News on the Rocks, NRA Gun Shelters, and it's about what to do with guns that police confiscated that were used in crimes or whatnot. And
I mean, I don't necessarily have much to say about the video because it's just more anti-gun propaganda from Funny or Die. I think I don't know how many people are aware of this, but Funny or Die is partly owned by Adam McKay. Adam McKay is a big supporter of the Brady campaign. Adam McKay, for those of you that don't know, is a very well-known producer and director in Hollywood. He's worked a lot with Will Ferrell. He directed The Big Short. He directed Anchorman, Anchorman 2. He is notably someone that does not care for the Second Amendment. So it doesn't surprise me that I see anti-gun, anti-Second Amendment videos coming out of Funny or Die. I mean, it's the perfect opportunity because you can hide it in comedy.
Yep.
Right? Yeah. I can slip in all these messages and I can hide it in comedy. We can all sit here and laugh about it. But, remember this, there is a message in that, and they are trying to get a message out. They're hiding it in comedy, but it's there. Their agenda, at least to me, is rather clear.
And it's like the Black NRA videos. Remember those?
Yep.
When that first came out, when they brought Coulion Noir in, they're like, "Oh, we'll get a black guy to be our shill, and then let's make fun of that just because he wasn't actually a gun guy or something." But I thought I usually look at these and cringe and think, you know what? I want to think that's funny, but you're wrong, okay, and two, you're satiring people actually getting hurt, and forget about the calling the gun the cause of the problem, but that lives are being taken or lost, or people choose to make ridiculous choices using firearms as tools for violence. I will, however, back up to say, because I'm in that kind of mood, the Sarah McLachlan music, and then the satirical NRA spokeswoman named Sarah McLachlan was extremely funny. So, as stupid as they are, and as irate as I want to get, and punch and spit and moan, that was kind of funny. If we could just be totally honest, because I mean, we've already done the Golden Girls.
I laughed at it, and actually, the first the first part of it, like you could have went either way with it. Like it's going to be just funny, kind of, not pro-gun, not anti-gun. But then they went completely anti-gun in the second half of it. But it could have been just a funny skit. I'm offended. Maybe not me, not necessarily this week. Somebody here is offended. We're to the I'm offended section, and lots of people are going to be offended because George Zimmerman is auctioning off the Keltec PF9 used to kill Trayvon Martin.
My mother once told me, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say it at all.
I will, however, go far against that and say that George Zimmerman is a dickhead. You can timestamp that if you need to, but this is lowbrow, straight up lowbrow stuff. For him to try and make money on something that, sure, okay, whether you believe he was right or not, for him to try and make more money off of that years later by selling a Keltec that's worth maybe $200 for $5,000, and then talking about donating the money to anti-Black Lives Matters type campaigns. I think it's just a stunt, really.
I feel like it's troll level expert, John.
Yeah. Well, he also said in his post, a lot of people have expressed interest in owning and displaying this, including the Smithsonian. Well, the Smithsonian came out and was like, no, we have never expressed interest in that gun and we'll never display it. Like, he's just being him. And it's sad because I feel, I actually have a mutual friend on Facebook that I saw him, like George Zimmerman commented on a post from this person. I'm like, is that what that guy's? Why is he here? Like, get out! You're not allowed among our crowd. You're tarnished, and it's not because of his case at all. It's his behavior. He's just a douche.
So it was billed as a collectible firearm on GunBroker. GunBroker has since pulled the auction, but had a starting price of $5,000.
It's actually been relisted on another site, and that site, I'm going to check it right now. It's a fledgling website that's trying to be a gun social media thing that has all kinds of stuff, and it does not look like their site has recovered from any traffic that they were getting. It's still not working, so I'm not even going to tell you what it is. But it's up for auction somewhere else for some absurd amount of money. I think it's important to read the beginning of his GunBroker listing. Just so the people at home can get context for why I feel the way I do. Prospective bidders, I'm honored and humbled to announce the sale of an American firearm icon. The firearm for sale is the firearm that was used to defend my life and end the brutal attack from Trayvon Martin on February 26, 2012. The gun is a Keltec PF9 9mm. It has recently been returned to me by the Department of Justice. The pistol currently has a case number written on it in silver permanent marker. Many have expressed interest in owning and displaying the firearm, including the Smithsonian. This is a piece of American history. It has been featured in several publications and in current university textbooks. What the hell, George Zimmerman? Seriously, dude.
It's a Keltec that we know works. And
so it's worth like $300, right?
I mean, it's a bummer that he would do this. Honestly, I mean, it doesn't make me feel good. And not that anything about George Zimmerman did to begin with. I just kind of get the feeling that he's a little bit of a rat. Hopefully he listens to the show. I'll give you my address afterwards if you want it. But like just this, doesn't this kind of, it's kind of like the icing on the cake that, okay, well, we know this is the kind of guy he is?
I guess.
Bummer.
Abuse of castle law. This could be a South Carolina man out on $250,000 bail after killing 2 men, burning and burying their bodies in his backyard.
Whoa! Easy there,
I mean,
fella.
Don't you kind of wish that's what George Zimmerman would have done?
You wish he would have gone more extreme?
Like, if just would have just canceled out any question marks. Wow.
So apparently a taxi driver and another man were trying to get their taxi fare, and supposedly they kicked in this guy's front door, and so he said, "Oh, I'll get you your money," and he came back with a gun and he killed them both. Very unclear what actually happened.
Yeah, here's my thing with stuff like this. Whenever I know, when people find themselves in violent encounters, sometimes people do crazy things, right? But if you truly believed that you defended yourself in a situation, would your first instinct be to drag the bodies to the backyard and bury them?
No.
It would be to call, 911 and say, hey, 2 people broke into my house and I had to shoot them to defend myself. That seems to me like the most rational thing. Now, I could even maybe excuse like him waiting a while or him dragging the bodies to his front porch because he didn't want them in the house. Like, there is a certain leeway I would probably give him. I don't think I would give him the leeway of burying the bodies in his backyard. That just seems to me a little suspect.
Yeah.
Well, it feels to me like the defense is using castle doctrine to try and give this guy an excuse. Like they had nothing better and they were like, oh crap, what do we do here? Let's just say it was castle doctrine and he was justified. Like no.
There's panic involved.
Yeah, like
they were in the middle of trauma.
Yeah,
they were dealing with extreme trauma. Having never been through that before, this isn't something you endure every day, and then they acted in an extreme fashion.
If he is a good lawyer, you never know. I mean, look at Robert Durst. Robert Durst cut up that guy, right? Like, was his roommate or his next-door neighbor. Robert Durst cut that guy up and put the body in plastic bags, and he got off.
Yeah, but he burned them first. I mean, what do you? If you're in an extreme situation and you're confronted with that, how does the effort of burning the body? They're just like, well, we have some kerosene in the garage. We better just go ahead and do this.
That just screams, I did something bad and I want nobody to know.
He also removed all evidence inside the home using bleach, and he burned his clothes and all other evidence, and he even hid the whole ordeal from his wife until he started appearing suicidal and stuff, and he had been rambling of a shooting, and then she alerted authorities.
This is the danger of shows like The Wire and Breaking Bad. I'm kidding. This is the danger of having ridiculous people in the world.
So, too many stories to cover this week. We have our overflow section, extra stories. They'll be in the show notes if you go to firearmsradio.tv and click on This Week in Guns. Show notes will post later tonight. But if you support us via Patreon at the $10 level and hang out with us after the show every other week, you can talk about some of these stories with us. So
also,
Patreon.com.
Everything else that you want to talk about is totally cool to talk about. You get to decide.
Yeah, it's amazing, the topics. You're on the after show last week, Billy, right?
Yes, I was.
Yeah, and it was 80s nostalgia week.
Wow.
Yeah, we dropped the disco ball. Everybody put in colored light bulbs.
In the 70s?
And Billy dressed up like Boy George.
Do you really want to hurt Billy?
You guys have not even seen me sing until you've seen me sing.
Do you have like one of those little like pieces of hair right here, just like braided?
I bring it down. It's up there. It's hiding up there.
You said that. Now that's all I want to do.
Culture Club.
Like, I want to seriously drive to meet you at karaoke tomorrow night.
So if you need to buy your 80s CDs, head over to Amazon, contribute to Firearms Radio Network and This Week in Guns by buying some 80s music. Use our Amazon affiliate link. You can bookmark firearmsradio.tv/Amazon and support pro-gun shows like This Week in Guns. We are to the full auto news segment, stories the real media won't talk about, and other crazy stuff. Each of the hosts picks a story to call their own. But first, we have the JWB Military and Brass giveaway, where JWB Military and Brass is giving away 50 quantity packages of ready-to-load brass. We have 5.56, we have 300 blackout, 9mm. So head on over to firearmsradio.tv, click This Week in Guns, and click the JWB Military and Brass giveaway to enter. And I also include a Patriot Patch in this giveaway too. So check it out, firearmsradio.tv. Head over to This Week in Guns and click the JWB Military and Brass giveaway. All right, who's ready for full auto?
I got it.
Take it away.
All right. Everybody, when it comes to selfies, you need to restrain yourself a little bit. It's a 24-year-old man in Portugal, was in a museum, decided that he wanted a selfie with a statue, and he was going to climb the statue and take a selfie with it.
Oh my gosh.
Well, the statue couldn't hold his weight, and it crumbled to the ground. It's a 126-year-old statue. The man is obviously now going to be charged, and I think the lesson here is this is probably one situation where he should have used a selfie stick. I'm not a big fan of the selfie stick, but don't climb the statues in the museums. This is just another one of those stories. We hear these stories all the time. People doing stupid stuff. People trying to get a selfie and falling off a cliff, or and the lengths people will go to take a photo never cease to amaze me.
Epic selfie, bro.
Wow. Hey, that history was worth more than your life, and you ruined it.
All right, Abs, what do you got?
I'm gonna do. Can I take Florida man?
Of course.
We did Florida woman earlier, but this man killed his brother in an argument over a cheeseburger, which seems pretty legit. But it says Florida man is accused of killing his brother over an argument that involved a cheeseburger. Benjamin A. Middendorf, 25 years old, shot his brother. Shot, people. Are you listening to this? He shot his older brother during the dispute Thursday night, police said in a statement. The fight started after victim Nicholas Middendorf, their mother, and a third man returned from a night of drinking, according to the police report. Sorry, life was lost. I just shot my brother on accident. A man is heard yelling on a 911 call released by police in St. Cloud, Florida. We were in a fight, and I grabbed a gun, and I shot him. Oh, God, Middendorf said, still screaming. I'm so sorry. A woman's voice is also heard on 911 call telling the operator, I'm going to kill my son. I hope you go to jail, the voice said. Nicholas Middendorf, 28, was pronounced dead at the scene. I'm sorry I'm laughing at this. A man was killed. This is terrible. I'm a horrible person, but
whatever. It's funny, dude.
Who does this? So spokeswoman confirmed to CNN that the argument was about a cheeseburger, and this incidentally happened on Mother's Day weekend. So the mom, who was going to kill the other son, said she lost both sons that weekend, and the brother who did the shooting, Benjamin, is facing a first-degree premeditated murder charge. I don't know what that means exactly. It sounds like the cheeseburger story is not holding up in court. Now, he said that... Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, you said one really important thing that you started there with Ebbs.
What was that?
Where did this happen?
Florida. But watch this though. Watch his excuse. Just real quick. The younger Middendorf, who is Benjamin, who shot his older brother Nicholas, told authorities his mother and older brother had been out drinking when they came home late Thursday night, according to the police report. Middendorf, who said he does not drink, got in an argument after his brother bullied him. The report said he did not remember much after that. So I'm confused. Was the youngest brother out drinking also? Or was he being bullied by the drunk older brother, so he was lucid and then shot him? Or he, like, blacked out and shot him?
He just freaked out, dude. He overreacted.
Like, part of this makes me kind of want to move to Florida.
So, if you want, you can go to the story that's actually on CNN, and they have in the video some of the 911 call.
And they have some neighbor reports and stuff like that. It's sadly entertaining.
No word on what kind of cheeseburger it was.
No, I'm thinking it was probably...
It's Florida. It was not a good one. It was in Florida.
It was Burger King. It was flame broiled, at least.
Come on, man. I wanted that Whopper.
All right, John, what do you got?
So, in Australia, they've got a potential new device that is being tested to help machine gunners. I don't know how many of you out there have picked up something like a 240 Bravo or the 249 or whatever the Australians are running, but they are quite heavy, especially with ammo, the full loadout. It weighs a good bit. So this new thing called the Reaper is essentially a backpack with a metal pole that comes out over your head and has a retractable line on it. I guess it's spring-loaded to help hold the gun up. So basically, it's something to take some of the weight off of the person's arms and put it into your core. It says that the guns weigh 15 to 30 pounds unloaded, so obviously when you start stacking ammo in there, they start weighing a ton. And I just thought this was really interesting. I compared it, when I first saw this on social media, I compared it to rigs that I've seen guys use for camera stabilizers. It's very similar to that because those get very heavy as well. And the article actually compares it to the retractable part to like a retractable dog leash. In that, you have some leeway, but anything to help guys do their jobs a little bit better. I mean, this is kind of rudimentary. I'm not sure if it's going to stick, but it's definitely in testing, and it's kind of neat. I like seeing new concepts adapted to help, good soldiers.
Oh, I just remembered that I went to college with a girl who had the last name Middendorf.
Did she have two sons?
No, but maybe she's related to Florida Man.
Call her.
So there's tons of good stories this week.
Yes, so many good ones.
So many. Like Minnesota's set to ban phone cases that look like guns. Man buys $9,000 in Chick-fil-A gift cards with stolen credit cards.
I like this one. South Carolina girl choked into unconsciousness by her assistant principal.
Read it! Read it!
It's a video. I can't really add to it.
South Carolina girl getting in the news.
Paintball injuries get serious. One ER saw 4, all requiring surgery that involved liver, penis, scrotum, and kidney.
Woo!
That sounds. I mean, as far as paintball goes, that's pretty run of the mill.
We're getting shot in the junk.
Jake, what about the 14.5 mil suppressed rifle in the Ukraine?
Oh, that's got your name on it. You take. How did you
miss that one? So this video actually appeared on LiveLeak, and they show it as a 14.5 mil sniper rifle. However, it's basically a 14.5 mil insert in like a 125 mil machine gun of some sort. Crazy. In this, I have no experience with this type of weapon or even knowing what it is. But it's a caliber conversion for a 125 mil gun. Does anybody know the metric conversion on that? What kind of diameter are you talking? 125 millimeters. Is that 4 inches?
That's more than 4 inches.
I mean,
Or you can roughly say 25 millimeters is an inch.
okay. So you're looking at
About
6.
5.
Like
That'd
6.
be huge. 4.9.
5. Yeah. So it is designed for carrying exercise training fire without basic ammunition. And so basically they're trying to save money on the 125 mil. But what's interesting is it has an electric trigger, and so it's an electronic firearm, and then they threw a suppressor on it, and the suppressor is, if you go to the show notes and look at it, the suppressor is 18 inches long. It's huge.
Nice and shiny, too.
Yeah, it's like the size of a pool noodle cut down. Don't ask me how I know about using pool noodles for suppressors, but
that sounds like a Peter Palma thing.
it does a little bit, but interesting stuff. But it doesn't. The way they're using it, at least in the pinned photo, looks like they're using it a little bit more seriously than just trying to save money with a 14.5 insert. It looks like they're trying to go distance with it because they've got an optic mounted, and the guy's lined up prone, and they've got it on a sweet, like kind of a suppressed fire tripod mount, or it's a quad mount maybe. It's a little bit tough to see, but kind of interesting. Those Ukrainians, man, don't leave them alone for long, because they create weapons of destruction.
So how much would Captain America owe in back pay? I guess that was going to be my story this week. Apparently, the government would owe him $3.1 million in back pay.
He's not interested in money, bro. He's interested in what's right.
That's right.
Did anybody see Civil War? What did they think?
I haven't seen it yet.
I haven't either.
I've made the mistake of reading reviews beforehand, and then I felt a little let down as I saw it.
That. Budweiser beer is to be renamed America until elections this fall.
Hey, that's lame.
Although Budweiser is not an American company any longer, so
Belgian, InBev.
Kind of ironic.
That's stupid.
I don't know, but the can is sweet looking. Have you seen it? Click on the link and look at the photo.
I'm looking at the picture right now.
Kinda cool. Kinda cool. I mean, it's dumb. The whole thing is stupid.
It's just, yeah. I mean, the most iconic beer name in the world, and you're going to take it off your can and replace it with America. I mean, hell, I love America. Don't get me wrong, but
and what is e pluribus unum? What's that Latin for? That's what they have under, instead of King of Beers, it says America, and then instead of King of Beers under Budweiser, it says e pluribus unum.
Out of many, one.
That's kind of creepy. Like,
that just means that they think their beer isn't terrible.
It's not Bud Light.
My statement remains.
And as always,
look at this. It says this is the Charlotte Observer, so it's a legit paper that, well, legit in quotes. It says, most people have heard the USA, USA, USA chant at some point in their lives, typically by college frat bros who may have had a little too much to drink. Well, now, those frat bros and you can literally get drunk on America.
I mean, is this a fake article, actually?
I don't think so.
No, I've seen this other places too.
And then there's a tweet screenshotted on the article, and it says at Budweiser. So there's a tweet written to Budweiser. It says at Budweiser, should it say Belgium instead of America? That's pretty good. Nice try, InBev.
And always we have a Nazi article. Release plans show Hitler planned for a Nazi metropolis in Munich, where he had planned on building a vast city with enormous buildings and roads that were designed to last 1,000 years. which would include a 600-foot high obelisk dedicated to the Nazi Party.
All right.
All right. All right, all right.
You gonna learn today.
You're going to learn today. It's kind of the perfect capstone on Crazy.
We can't even get in Michigan up here, we can't even get a road to last for a winter. So I'd like to see this guy's plans because I think I could make some money here.
Wow. Yeah, doesn't that make sense though? He was so bought into his Crazy that I feel like this makes perfect sense. It's kind of interesting to see released and available the obelisk, which looks a lot like the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, it looks a lot like it. Yeah.
He could have just stolen. He didn't. He took over Paris. Why didn't he just take the Eiffel Tower? He's crazy enough.
Because it was too French.
Yeah, it would have. That's true.
And nobody likes French things.
So that about wraps up Full Auto. New Patreon perks. Hang out with us after the show every other episode. Pledge $10 level to do that. But we also have levels starting at $1, and then we have $5 levels where you can get free T-shirt, free patch, $8 level where we have a supply drop box full of goodies. About every 3 months will show up at your steps. And then we have T-shirt of the month club, and also the big ammo dump box, which is a large box full of goodies that will show up every 3 months on your steps. So check it out, patreon.com/week. And also we have our goal of reaching $500. We will do Today in Guns, a daily gun news program. So Patriot Patch Company helps make this episode possible. Check out the T-shirts over at patriotpatch.co, a bunch of new designs. And this is part of the show where we see what's going on with these guys. So, John, what's going on with the Gun Collective? You got something going on at NRA show?
Yes, sir. So, for those of you that will be at the NRA annual meeting on Saturday from 1 to 4 p.m., I will be having what I'm calling the Ultimate Gun Guy Q&A, which is going to be at the Crown Plaza, which is right outside the south gate of the Expo Center in Louisville. And it's going to be a lot of fun. Basically, you'll be able to ask anything of some of your favorite content creators. I'll be there. Whitey from Four Guys Guns, who's on this show quite a bit, will be there. Tim from Military Arms Channel, Chad and Eric from Iraq Vet 8888, and 22 Plankster will be there, and Sean from We Like Shooting. We've also got a ton of giveaways. We've got a bunch of cool stuff from Patriot Patch. And a bunch of other companies have donated some amazing stuff so that we can give back to the audience. And it'll just be a really, really good time for us to hang out with you guys. That's really what it's all about, is having an opportunity to spend time with and get to know our audience a lot better. So if you want to get tickets, you can go to, let me pull up the web address so I don't screw it up here. It's tgcnra2016.eventbrite.com. You can go to eventbrite.com and just search the Gun Collective, and it will pop up. But I would love to see you guys out there. So if you're going to the NRA and you're going to be there on Saturday, I need to see you at this event. The tickets are free. Anybody's welcome.
It says ID requirements and age limits. How old do I have to be to attend?
As far as I'm aware, there is not an age limit. I set this up, and I don't remember seeing any questions about an age limit.
I'm just looking at the email they sent me. So cool, very cool.
I would just warn people that if you bring your kids, I've been known to be a horrible person, so just be aware of that.
Well, we're doing timestamps on the fly. That's why I'm going to be there.
He's gonna be yelling over.
I'm going to have a blowhorn, or one of those boat horns, or
an air horn. Yeah,
He's gonna look at you and go, "What? I wasn't even cursing," and you're gonna go, "It was preemptive. I was prepared.
I was waiting for it."
Yeah.
Very cool. Abs, what's up?
Nothing really. Loving life, loving you guys, and it's cool to get to work with fun people still. Jake doing awesome stuff with the patches, and John. I won't get to be at NRA show, but it's cool seeing this kind of stuff happen. So I'm just kind of running things behind the scene, working with Billy a little bit, and can't talk about that because you don't need to know.
Well, why would you even mention that?
But because they need to know that awesome stuff's going on. Bottom line.
All right, that's fair.
But still doing that thing. TV world kind of boring as far as the mainstream market goes, but staying busy with that. Custom barrels coming out. We just finished a run of 30-30 Winchester barrels. Not anything really available in terms of production line type things with barrels available for the Encore. So we've got 30-30 barrels coming out for the Encore that are available now. We finished our run of 444 mags, and we've got some more stuff that's coming out, but it's just we're working with the custom manufacturers, so the process of getting them available is it takes time. Anybody who works with manufacturers will tell you you are at the mercy of their schedule. So but that's cool. Looking forward to some cool accuracy reports from those. And like I said, still polishing triggers, still doing that kind of work, working with the old man who is killing it as far as the gun world retailers go. He's just kind of sets the standard for the online mark. And so, yeah, staying busy with that. And still, active on the House of Guns online social media stuff, Facebook, Instagram. And a little bit more on the Twitter lately too, but primarily for the purpose of trolling political commentary, which has been kind of fun.
Very cool. Billy, what's up with Boxer Tactical?
Things are good. Well, we've been doing this now for 5 years, and after 5 years at it, finally decided to run our first sale, which was really cool. I want to thank everybody that participated in that. And it's a good reason for people to follow Boxer on social media because we only announced the sale on Instagram and Facebook. We didn't send any emails out, and we didn't do any other kind of notification. So it's kind of an incentive for people to follow Boxer Tactical on social media. We have a lot of other special events planned throughout the year. They probably won't be the sales like we just ran, but we're going to be doing other types of incentive programs for our customers to try to participate online. So that's going good. Excited about that, and like I've been saying now for like the last 2 months, we got a lot of new products coming out, and we are super excited about that. Maybe next week, maybe the week after, we'll roll out the first one, and we're going to trickle them out through the month of June and probably even into July as well. And you can always reach me at Boxer Tac on Instagram, or Amidst the Noise on Instagram, or you can send me an email at billy@boxertactical.com. And I am sorry I will not be at the NRA annual meetings. I think what John's doing is really cool, and I think that's something that I haven't seen before at any show or convention or anything in the gun world. So I applaud him on that. I think that's pretty cool. And if you are going to NRA annual meetings, make sure you go to that panel. And I think that's about it, Jake.
Very cool. If you listen or download via iTunes, leave us a review there. Check out some of the other alternative podcatcher apps if iTunes or Apple software is giving you an issue. There's some isolated bugs that some people are having trouble downloading some of the shows on Firearms Radio, so check out some of the other podcatcher apps like Downcast. They work much better. contribute to the show by using our Amazon affiliate link, and leave your feedback by commenting on the bottom of this YouTube video or the bottom of the show notes, which will be at firearmsradio.tv. Thank you, John.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Thank you, Ebbs.
It's a big pleasure, Jake. All mine.
Thank you, Billy.
Thanks, Jake. Thanks for having me.
That's a wrap, and we'll see you next week.